Hi everyone, Aislinn Campbell here, Executive Director of Grow Local South Texas, and it's been quite a while since I've had time to do a video like this, and it was time. It's past time. It's a busy part of the year. The moment that we hit January 1, we roll into springtime. We roll into producers conference and farm to table dinner and March birthday party, and this year we get youth service agency grant, so we're doing some youth service agency projects, and then we roll into the garden party, which is in May, and in all of that time we're also managing crazy South Texas winter weather, spring weather coming on, and planting season, and also still harvesting, because we're harvesting and planting at the same time of year. Whereas when we're getting ready for the fall garden, and closing out the summer, we're not really harvesting that much. So there's a different level of work that is required during the spring season and late winter, early spring season. All of that being set aside, I've been really nose to the grind getting work done. But today I wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you. So the farm to table dinner this year was on March the 3rd. We had over 50 volunteers involved in the entire process of it. People who worked 25 hours, anywhere from 4 or 5 hours, which is a lot in itself, to 25, 30. I'm sure there was a few of us that probably even worked 40 hours of pure volunteer service for our Corpus Christi community and for our local food community and for Grow Local South Texas. So a lot of gratitude goes into that. In addition to that, the hosts were amazing hosts this year. We hosted the event out at Thunder Cattle Ranch in the Chapman Ranch, Texas area. And that was Scott and Casey Frazier and their daughter Erin, and her husband Brian Kennedy, and they were such gracious hosts. They had such a wonderful location, and are happy to say that they're going to be working with us again next year. We're expecting to do the event March or April. It'll either be the first weekend in March to avoid spring break stuff, or it will be within the month of April sometime, probably toward the beginning of the month again. That's kind of how we bounce back and forth between March and April, and watch the weather and keep up with kind of what else is going on with traditional holidays and things like that, and other events going on in town. So we're looking forward to getting that date on the calendar very quickly, as we roll into all the other fantastic things we're doing. But gratitude, thank you to our hosts. Thank you to Emily Dodd, who is the event chair of Farm to Table. I believe this was her fourth year of planning Farm to Table from start to finish. And every year it gets better. Every year we learn. Every year we evolve into what it is that Grow Local really needs the Farm to Table event to be. And that's because of Emily's leadership. And a lot of people talked about how it's just such a chill event, considering the fact that it's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. But I think that that's just because Emily puts a calm on everyone. And even there towards the last minute, when those of us that are heavily involved in the last days of planning start to get at each other's nerves, start to gripe a little much at each other, Emily is always chill about things. And when Emily feels a little anxious and asks a question, we all discover that very quickly we bounce her back, and she recognizes it immediately, because she knows that she's the cheerleader. She knows that she's the leader, and so that's an important thing to just know, that her leadership skills are really valuable in the vibe, and you hear me talk about that a lot as it relates to the community garden, the learning garden at Tom Graham Park, the farmers market, the producers conference. Really everything that Grow Local South Texas does is really about a healthy community and a good vibe. I know that sounds like very new agey hippie stuff, but it's really just about having a positive energy, a healthy energy around the space that we participate in and the types of events that we put on. And so that's very important. I want to say thank you to Emily. Also, thank you to Joe Hilliard, who is always one of the Emily and Joe, kind of this is their event, and they've been really pulling things off together as event planners for several years now. And Joe gets to be the one behind the scenes that if no one else gets screamed at, because Aislinn might need to scream sometimes right there at the last second, Joe tends to be the one that takes the heat on that, and I'm so thankful for his leadership and his patience and his ability to manage my anxiety when it gets down to the end. Some of the other folks that were heavily involved this year that made things run so smoothly. Joyce Moore, super fundraiser for Farm to Table, helps out with the silent auction, helps out with getting new sponsors involved in the event, helps out with just telling people about it, brings businesses into the event and sees how they can get involved. She was hugely a part of putting together the silent auction this year with Michelle Kish. Michelle Kish is my staff right hand, with very, very good with operations and organizational planning. While I can have the big visions of the great ideas that we want to do, she helps us pull it off so that we have our paperwork done correctly, helps make it smoother at the end so we're not all angry at each other because we didn't get all of the things taken care of or all the information that we needed or all the data that we needed, and makes us look like a much more successful organization than this tiny little small organization that we are with a few employees, because Michelle works so hard. So Michelle Kish, and then also Michelle Gonzalez and her group, the Frost A-Team, Frostbank A-Team, Joyce Moore, they really pulled off the silent auction. Judith Smolik was there with them on the day of, and of course some other time too, but particularly the day of to kind of help just keep the flow going well. Went really well. I believe we made nearly $4,000 this year on silent auction, with that's just a little less than what we took away and actually put in the bank after last year, with half the amount of items and without a live auction on top of that. So next year we're hoping to maybe increase the silent auction a little bit now that we're feeling confident again. Maybe bring the live auction back if that makes sense. But because of their efforts and because of the work that they did, Emily and I stay out of the silent auction for the most part, outside of me kind of just asking, because that's what I do primarily for Farm to Table, is ask for volunteers, ask for sponsors, ask for in-kind donations. I'm the asker. Aside from just asking, I do not get involved in the management of silent auction. It is a frustration to me. And Emily is so busy planning the event and involved in the event that night and the management of the event that night that it's almost impossible for us to ask her to manage that. So to have a great, strong team that's willing to do that is the only way we can get that done. And it definitely is a huge part of the fundraising of the event that night. One of the things I want to make sure I make very clear again to folks is that Farm to Table dinner is a Farm to Table dinner and a fundraiser. And I want to make that very clear, because a fundraising event often is not a beautiful, delicious Farm to Table dinner with the most beautiful ingredients and the most delicious food and the most delicious and beautiful table decorations and an open bar with delicious local beer and wine from Texas. So our dinner is in itself a beautiful, luxurious event to be a part of. But in addition to that, it's a fundraiser. And so we have to really, it's really something that is an expensive event to put on. And so to add the silent auction element to it, to have the support of volunteers donating all of their time to help us cut the costs and to increase the fundraising of the event is a huge, important part of it. We loved the size that we came out at this year. We ended with 110 seats. That was closer to the year that we did the paella, a little less than what it was last year. But this next year, with the idea of us having moved out to a farm this year, which is a little different than the art center that everybody kind of knows about because of the farmers market and because of other events that happen at the art center all of the time, it was a little bit scary for folks, something different. So with the hosts asking us back again this year, We really expect to get our numbers back to what they were at the Churrasco last year. So we're hoping maybe 150 to 160 people in 2019, and then get our fundraising just back up just a little bit more again, and really still begin to understand that the in-kind donation and underwriting side of it. I also want to be very clear that we do not ask our farmers to donate produce to this event. Now, some of them do, and we're very, very thankful for that. But that's not a request that we have of them. And it's important to the work that we do to value the food that the farmers are creating and making, and understanding that's a part of their daily business. And so that's a place where we've got to figure out other ways to work with creating the underwriting or keeping the costs down of the event. So getting folks involved like Castle Realty, that's Chris Castillo. He helped us get the wine this year. Lazy Beach always helps us out every year with showing up at the event, bringing their beer. This year they brought their kombucha, which was fantastic, and they help us with that as well. Folks like InKind really helped us out this year. I'm not sure if you know it, but one of those fancy luxury lube hoos could cost as much as $3,500. InKind was happy to sponsor and be a part of and be at the table and support us, as they always do. Mr. Sean Steele is a huge help with us in that way. And then, of course, all of the other sponsors that come in. We have Park Fowler and Company, Charms Amusement, that's Joyce Moore, AEP, those guys really have helped us out. And Glenda Miles is an employee of theirs. She's a huge supporter of Grow Local South Texas, helps us make all our beautiful signs that you saw around and then the pictures. We also have Fulton Construction that's really helping us out these last couple of years. I shouldn't have gone off on that list because now I'm going to forget people. We have a lot of folks. Driscoll Children's Hospital comes in as an underwriter every year. This year we had Capital Farm Credit that helped us out as well. The Chesneys helped us out this year with a little underwriting support. Callie and Rajana Huja with some table sponsorship. Hank and Patty Nuss. Massage Center, Kathy Arce, huge supporter, comes out and helps out with that as well. I shouldn't have started down that stream. Valero, Darcy, thank you so much for your help. Just bringing that stuff to the table. Then, of course, we had Doreen Green, who helps us make our film that some of you have seen, and then you're going to see another film that's going to be just about the event that evening. He gives us a really good deal on the work that he does to be able to put those videos together, and all of the work that it requires for him to put not just one but two videos together. And then he's going to be able to get a sponsorship for that. But it helps us cut the cost of what that costs for him to do that business. Of course, Tim Fitch with Palo Verde Cattle Company helped cover the cost this year with underwriting the beef, and South Texas Heritage Pork. Some of our new favorite vendors that bring the pork down from the Floresville area about once a month, and they contributed the pork this year, so that was an underwriting as well. So really, there are so many more. We had some servers in the back this year that were so helpful and strong and really helping our chef James Cantor put the event on. He came down by himself with his truck and said, "Okay, I need you to help me with staff and servers and all of that kind of stuff." And the Del Mar culinary team and lots of folks that are involved with that and involved with the Coastal Bend Chefs Association got in there and got the job done. You should have seen the number of people washing dishes because the chef, the way that we worked out a deal with the chef for his support, of course, was by renting some of his dishes and bringing some of the labor to the party. And so you should have seen all those guys in there washing dishes. I mean, they were there till 11 o'clock or maybe even 12 o'clock at night. Some of them were there till 12 or 1 or 2 nights in a row getting stuff done. Kelly and Amanda, thank you so much. Tevin Gray, who always steps up. Faye Mikulek, who's also Gourmet Faye. Jay Guerra, who did the desserts. And those were a huge advocate, or huge delicious treat this year. Gosh, I've been just going on and on and on too long, and nobody's going to watch this super long video. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you. And if I didn't mention your name, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. Heather Nesbitt and Christy Ilfrey and Dave Nuss. Oh, the Independent Thieves. Okay, so at the last second, we had an issue with the music. And we had sold live music. It's going to be a live music event, and we always have live music. And we called up our friend Garrett Whelan with the Independent Thieves, and Dave Nuss was actually the one that helped to make that happen while all this other chaos was going on at the event, and we were trying to get things together. And so Garrett Whelan and Dave Nuss and some of this and friends from the Surfrider Foundation helped us pull together a quick, perfect live music for the cocktail hour, some dance time, the dinner hour. So Garrett, thank you for stepping up. I'm so glad your Independent Thieves music is the background of our videos 2 years now in a row. We're so thankful for you in our community, and every single person, Laura Day, my kids that were all involved, Nick Brand, who's new to our team, and of course all of my staff, Joelle and Cindy, who I haven't yet mentioned, strong as ever. I love you all, and I'm sorry if I didn't say your name, but you mean the world to me, and I'm so, so, so thankful for all of the super strong, hard work. I know, Nicole Kinzerski. Oh, gosh, for years and years and years now, you have been rocking it and helping us and just putting your beautiful touch on everything. So thank you, Nicole. And the kiddos that showed up, Benji and Nina helped out during the day, and some other young friends were around, and y'all, Farm to Table is just one of those amazing community events, and I hope that you will get involved next year in a way that makes sense for you, whether that is sitting at the table, or whether that is volunteering, or whether that is helping us before and after with setup and takedown. Carlos Huerta, set up and take down, sit at the table. Everybody, I love you. I'll see you soon. Debbie, for taking pictures. Debbie, we love you. Monica O'Keefe, also, so many things to say. Monica, Debbie, and Bob Paulson were all awarded the Pioneer Spirit Award for trusting in our vision before there was even really a vision to trust in. All right, I'm out. I love you. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.